So Drag Race Season 17 recently ended, and I feel like it was fine. It was a good season for drama and a few of the contestants, but overall, I was a little bored. I feel like the caliber of the queens did not line up with previous seasons, and I think it was because production casted much younger queens, and I just wanted to explore that a little more and see what did go well and what didn't in this little season recap. So let's get into it. First off, the premiere was very good. I think that each of the queens was introduced well and storylines were well set up. Hermona was a little snobby at first and set up to be disliked by the cast. Keep in mind that I don't think she's snobby in general. This is just how their characters were set up for the season. Corey was introduced as a confident, crazy, wild queen who would do anything. Jules and Susie were set up to be strong competition. I do think the only two queens who excited me on the talent show cast were Jules and Susie this episode. I think Lucky was good as well, just was not personally entertained by the big boob aspect of her performance. I feel like it's been overdone these past few seasons and I just don't find it entertaining anymore. However, I think that it would have been very fun in person, like in a club where if she was spraying lemonade, I would live. Jules gave polished, pretty drag and strong top 4 energy. Susie was the only one who I was actively like smiling and laughing at for her number. It was something we'd never seen before and it was just super fun to watch, especially that little part about her Gettysburg Address moment. That was really clever. And of course, we got to meet Joella. Don't forget the Ella. She didn't have the most amazing drag, but for all of that, she made up for an attitude. I mean, the best personality of the season, and I wish we had seen more of her. Episode 2, Lexi swept. Once those roller skates hit the ground, we had a winner for the challenge. I really thought she was going to win the season from that episode alone, but as we'll see, she took a turn and production almost supported this turn. I don't know, it was weird. Corey also did very well. I really thought her number was going to be top 2, but I think that speaks to just every queen doing an original song and choreo to it. I don't know, it was good. I'm just kind of getting sick of that variety of talent. So the setup was good. We had some tops, we had some bottoms, we had a lot of bottoms. But overall, it was just very middle of the road. A lot of people hadn't stuck out yet, but that was fine. It was only episode 2, so we'd give them some time. Episode 3, the design challenge. Ariete and Sam were the top 2, but I mean, let's be honest, Ariete won. She solidified herself as a design challenge threat, and it was going to be very hard to beat her in any of those categories. No one did that bad in this episode either. I thought that Joella was fine. It was just a little basic for the category. Lucky's the only one who really bombed, and I mean, I don't think production wanted to cut her this early, but she did so bad that they kind of had to. I wish she had practiced a pretty mug before she had gotten on a national competition. I feel like maybe they added it to make it seem like she'd never practiced it, but girl, you gotta practice a little more. I didn't think Corey's outfit was bad either. I actually really liked it. Episode 4, Joella. That's all. The mattress. All I remember, all I need to remember. Everyone else did fine, and this is also when Anya started to stand out as a competitor. Episode 5, RDR Live. Susie came back around and bodied the competition again, and production was supporting her as a queen, which was great, because I think they saw people were going to like her and see her talent. However, this is the episode when I started noticing that most of the queens were not that funny. A lot of them struggled to land their jokes in this format, and so far the queens I hadn't mentioned haven't really stood out yet. And now they're kind of standing up for the wrong reasons. Acacia is not doing much. Lana isn't doing that great. Lydia didn't do well this episode. I don't know. Most of them just weren't standing out and showing why they needed to be cast. I'm glad that they kept Ariete and that the dunk tank did have 2 numbers that made sense for the polling, so it didn't feel super rigged. I like that twist overall too. The ball. This was Ariete's episode. Those mug changes were so amazing and clever, and she was the clear winner this episode. Hermona, I didn't think she deserved to go from this episode alone based off her track record, but I do think that I understand why she went at that moment. I think that she was just not giving enough versatility for the judges to keep her around. Episode 7, the Snatch Game. Anya and Jules bodied. I like the storyline of Susie bombing or not doing great. I don't understand the Susie hate from this episode, though, I will say. I just thought she was overconfident and maybe she annoyed the rest of the girls there. That makes sense, but I don't see the fan hate that much. She was cocky, but I don't think that's hate-worthy. I think this was also the episode where I started getting disappointed in Corey, or maybe that was episode 4. She just has this big winner energy, and I'm happy that she got with Lydia, but I wish she had come into this season the same way she had at the tail end. We'll get into that a little more, but I think she could have been top 4, and everyone wanted her to be top 4. I feel like even production would have put her there, but she just got so distracted and just didn't have the challenges that were best for her. But yeah, I was low-key disappointed, but she did fine this episode. She just wasn't super funny. Lana was not great. She really made her whole character about that one joke, and I really wasn't living for Lux's delusion on the pit stop episode. I wish she had told it like it was. I don't need to make up a storyline about how good Lana is. I think she's a great performer. I just think on the show, Lana wasn't doing as well as Lux said she was. So 8, the Rusical. Everyone did fine. Anya won this episode. I just knew she was winning the whole season when this number started. She clearly won this and had so much fun, energy, and charm. She had showed enough versatility by that point to win, and I think everyone knew it and felt it in that moment. And everyone else did fine. No one did really bad except for Acacia maybe, but I also just felt bad for how she was edited. She was clearly shy and reserved this season, which is super understandable and relatable, but I wish she'd showed more of her personality and skills a little more. I don't know. Maybe that's just how she is though. Episode 9, at this point, several of these girls have got to go. I think I saw a clear top 5 at this point, and everyone else was kind of just lingering, which sucks because there are 8 or 9 girls left. I was waiting for them to leave, Corey, Lana, Lydia. Hold on, I have more to say on Lydia later because I do really like her. But yeah, also Ariete. I almost didn't want them to get another design challenge just so she could go sooner. Her only very good skill was design, which was incredible, but it wasn't enough to get her in the top 4. I'm glad Jules won this episode. She deserved a win. Also, Lexi hadn't done much since that second episode, so she was starting to sink in the competition. If not, hadn't completely floundered by that point. I love her personality and her confessionals on the show. I just wish she hadn't gotten so in her head and had maybe done a little better on the middle challenges. Also in this episode, that kiss with Lydia and Corey was peak TV. I'm so glad for each of them, and they're just such good entertainers. They knew what the audience wanted and they gave it, and that's all I could ask for. Episode 10. I loved this episode. It brought the drama. All the girls who hadn't done that well in the season yet shined. Lydia ate with her weird humor, and she was just starting to rev up. I felt like Lana was so funny and clever. Her jokes were so well written, and she just had such great delivery, which is a skill that you can't teach to people often. Everyone else was fine, but this was really Lana and Lydia's episode. Ariete was not good. Great drama, so I'm not too pressed, but don't steal jokes from your friend. Don't sabotage your friend, even if you're mad that they quote unquote sabotaged you. I don't know. It was just a little petty. Speaking of petty, the mirror message. Girl, don't do that. And it kind of just showed cowardice on Ariete's part because she would never have said that to Anya's face. She just wanted to avoid a direct fight and try to ruin Anya's reputation from afar. So that was kind of cheap, and I think she knows it. I think she's changed since that episode, but yeah, not a great move. This episode was fine. Acting challenge, nothing major, just Anya bodying some more. Episode 12, I loved this mini challenge. That line that Jules wrote for Susie, my biggest goal is to sing on that show where they sell antiques, was such a good read. I just loved it. Monologues were fine. Not a super memorable episode other than the mini challenge. 13 was super heartwarming. The Family Makeovers is definitely going to win them an Emmy if it does this season. I hope it wins them an Emmy this season. I think this is how every makeover should be done. Maybe just do them less and make the makeover partners people who are important to the contestants in their lives. I just want to see them bond and see the Queen's history. That's what I want. I don't need random interactions with pit crew members or firefighters they randomly bring in. I just want to see more of these girls and what their lives are like off the show. And I think this episode had a great job of doing that. And I loved that hug between Jules and Anya when they both stayed. That was so heartwarming. 14, to be honest, I did not watch, but I am happy that Jules won. Episode 15, I loved. Everyone came back and did very well. At this point, I loved Lydia. I missed her confessionals and general presence, and I was just happy to see her on my screen. I loved her starry outfit too. Corey came in with winner energy. She was super in it to win it. She had her boyfriend already, and she just wanted to win this competition, and I loved this version of Corey. I also loved Susie's scream when she brought out the Corey toot wig. That was so funny. I hope that Corey comes back for All Stars with this energy, and I don't want her distracted the next time around. I want her and Lydia to get married and live happily ever after, obviously, but I don't think I need them on the same season again. I think that they're great off the show. Anyways, Corey did great. Susie did great. Susie looked super cunt, and I couldn't take my eyes off of her mug. Ugh. Lesbian fuel, really. I agreed with most of the lip syncs. I do think Acacia did better than Lucky, especially with that slow death drop. But I understand why they gave Lucky this win for story and redemption purposes. Yeah, and I'm fine with Susie winning. I'm glad she got that money, and Corey really can earn that money on Cameo in like a few weeks. So I am glad that Susie got this money. The finale was fine. Like every other finale, it's never great unless you're Sasha Velour. I thought everyone did well, and I think that Lexi would have won if she was chosen for the end, just based off that look and reveals alone. I could be wrong, of course, though, but I am kind of glad that she didn't make it there because I kind of wanted Anya to win. I think it was kind of cunty that Anya just stood there and lip synced. Hopefully now they get rid of the lip sync for the crown format and replace it with something else. Anya really showed it doesn't matter in the end, especially if you have a great track record. But like, I wish there was even just like a jacket takeoff or something, you know, like a little reveal. It did take nerve. So yeah, that's the season. Anya won. Very deserving winner. And yeah, overall, I just wish that the talent level, or at least how the entire group performed, was a little better than it was. I think they just need to cast more experienced queens along with these younger girls, because that would make for a talented and super fleshed out and entertaining cast. I do think this group is talented. It's just that they didn't perform as well as they could have on the show. Also, some of the storylines kind of made no sense. Like, they set up Anya as major drama at first, but then they changed her to be the biggest competition and like the most mature of the cast. And Lexi was a strong contender, but then they only showed her doing poorly and breaking down. I don't know. None of these storylines really showed them in a good light, except for maybe Anya and Jules. I liked this season, but it wasn't the best of the best. And I feel like that's how Drag Race should be every year. Kind of mid in terms of how they showed the queens. It was great for drama though. And yeah, anyways, let me know what you think of the season in the comments down below. And I'm excited to see how they produce this upcoming season of Girls. Take care. See you soon.